If it's October, it means the Spanish Fort Toros are in familiar territory, their opponent's end zone, closing in on another Alabama State championship. But 16-year-old Savannah is out of her league. Evident to those at the party that she may have had a few too many.
She's kind of just like, just like going crazy, like walking around.
Watching from across the room, Savannah's close friend, who asked that we call her Jessica.
She's drunk, right? Mm-hmm. What are you seeing?
All of a sudden, I see someone carrying her up the stairs. It was probably 4 people that were carrying her up the stairs like she was a doll, basically. Like, they just like each had like a limb. And I was like, what the heck, when did this happen? I just saw her like on the couch.
But just like the booze, there's something else that's ubiquitous at your typical teenage rager: cell phones. This is an image of Savannah being carried upstairs. It will later play a big part in trying to determine what occurred that night. Taylor is one of those teens who helped carry Savannah.
We were all just laughing, you know, making a joke out of it because it was funny, you know. Everyone had been drinking and we're carrying Savannah up, and Savannah's pretty tall and we're all kind of short. So we were kind of struggling.
She says they did it so Savannah could lie down and sleep it off.
Do you remember being carried upstairs?
It's like I could hear things. My eyes were shut, but I could just hear everything. I just didn't feel with it at all.
At that point, the popular seniors, newly 18, decide to leave, wanting to take the party across the bay to a club in nearby Mobile.
We're like, Cameron, you coming? He was like, no, I can't get in any trouble tonight. I'm just gonna stay here.
Wary of trouble, because remember, Cameron Harrison is a standout senior whose football team is undefeated and entering the playoffs. Also staying behind, Savannah. And depending on who you talk to, you get conflicting reports on her state of mind.
Whenever we were about to leave, it's whenever I saw her being carried and stuff, and she was laughing.
So you saw her being carried up the stairs?
Yeah, she was
Yes.
like, no, I want to go back downstairs.
Once upstairs, Savannah gets sick in the bathroom. That grandma makes a brief appearance, handing her a towel. Friend Jessica says when she went upstairs, Savannah was barely coherent.
She was just like laid on the bed with like her eyes closed. She was just like, like I couldn't really like make out what she was saying.
Tell me, when she's saying that to you, is she unconscious at that point?
Like, she wasn't fully conscious, but she wasn't fully unconscious at that point. She was probably like in between there. She'd be like she sounded really like a zombie.
Slurring it all?
Yeah, definitely slurring. But it was after that is when I noticed like she was out. She wasn't saying anything.
Jessica says she left Savannah in that upstairs bedroom to nap. But when she returned to check on her about 15 minutes later, the door was locked.
I was banging on the door and I was like, what's going on? Like, why is the door locked? And I couldn't hear anything in there. The light was off, and I remember leaving and the light was on.
She doesn't hear anything. But Cameron's teammate, Hayden, also at the door, says he hears Savannah making sounds from inside the bedroom.
I heard her moaning. Like, I could hear sex noises.
Eventually, the door opens, and Jessica is shocked by what she sees.
So Cameron like cracks the door open, and he's like completely naked. And I was like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Half her body's on the bed with like her arms back, and then like half her body's like draped off the bed.
Did she have any clothes on?
She had no clothes on. She was completely naked. I started like yelling at Cameron. I was like, what are you doing? Like, she's obviously not okay right now. Like, why would you do that? And he was like, she wanted me to. She said she wanted me to.
Did it seem like she was completely out of it?
Yes, completely out of it. I mean, she couldn't even move.
Couldn't move, but Jessica says Savannah did speak. And what she said would be crucial to the case.
She said, just leave me here. I was mad because she said that. So that's when I left.
When Jessica goes back upstairs, another 10 or 15 minutes later, she sees Savannah disheveled, no bra, and her clothes backwards and inside out.
She was slumped over the toilet, throwing up. And she threw up so much. Like, I was at least 20 times that night. She just kept throwing up.
Wow.
Everywhere.
And she says Cameron, nowhere in sight. Turns out he's back downstairs at the party, taking smiling snaps. No hint of potential wrongdoing.
Do you remember Cameron Harrison ever being in that room with you?
No.
It's approaching midnight, and on the ride home, friend Taylor says that's when Savannah whispered a secret to her.
I asked her, are you okay? And she told me, I think I had sex with Cameron.
With a sickly Savannah in the back seat, it is Jessica taking responsibility for her friend, racing home before curfew.
Were you thinking, man, this girl might be in serious trouble. She might need to go to the hospital right now.
I mean, I wanted to take her there, but she would just start screaming. She was like, no. And that's, I mean, she was still drunk at that point, but she would try her best to be like, like, no, you can't do that.
With her parents asleep, Jessica sneaks the two of them in through the side door. Savannah still vomiting.
She was still like shaking. She was like white. I put so many blankets on her and she kept on saying like, I'm so cold. Like it sounded like she was just like in like a freezer.
For 2 hours, Jessica stood watch over her intoxicated friend.